Hello, guys. Good afternoon, or good morning for wherever you're joining us. I don't know where you are joining us from, but warm greetings from the Star Africa team. My name is Derek, and it feels great to be back with the Star Africa Instagram live sessions. Right, it feels great to be back with them, and today we're going to have an amazing guest joining us all the way from Ghana. And guys, I see she's joined in now. We are going to be having the marketing conversation right here on Star Africa. So if you don't know, Star Africa is a project that is funded by the Ministry of Economic Affairs of Germany and implemented by University of Koblenz Landau in partnership with University of Rwanda. And I am a team member at Star Africa, coming to you all the way from Koblenz in Germany. And we are going to be having, like I said, the marketing conversation with an amazing young woman who is a marketing pro, an entrepreneur, a change maker, a leader. Going to be gracing our virtual stage on our Instagram live today. So, Dan, I know you can see me. Please send me a request to join the live and let's get the conversation started. Yep. So, let me see once your request comes through. So, you can send me a request and then I'll just accept. Great. I'm sending a so you can join in and then we can get the conversation started. Hey! Hi, Diane. How are you doing? I'm fine. I'm fine. Good to have you here. I'm good as well. Really good. I hope your network is stable now. Great, great. See you too. Sorry we couldn't meet when I was in Ghana. Such a shame on my part. Oh, I think the network. Then, then can yes, I think it should be better now. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you, but I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. There was a bit of breakups when you were talking, so I was like,
Okay.
maybe the network was not stable. But I think now, yes, perfect,
Yes.
perfect.
Okay, great.
So
Great.
yeah, yeah, how's it going? How's your weekend going so far for you?
Well, I'm waiting to eat some fufu. So,
Very important,
very important.
very important. That's interesting. So I mean,
Mhm.
for those who are seeing you for the first time on our platform, or those who get to watch us for the first watch you for the first time on our platform, who is Diane Akofu? What do you do? Who are you?
Okay, so Diane wears a lot of hats, and one of them is okay. Well, most people know me as a blogger.
Okay.
Others know me as a marketer. Others also know me as a climate activist.
Okay.
And some people also know me as a policy activist as well.
Mm, mm.
Hmm.
That's great. And how did you begin this journey of activism and also your marketing journey, which I also know you for? How did it all start?
Well, it's a very interesting one actually, because I have a biology background. Uh,
Mm.
I know biology, and after coming out of school, I specialized in microbiology. I was a teaching
Okay.
assistant. Um,
Mm.
I was just so into the microbiology stuff. And then I
Mm.
came out of school and I couldn't find any jobs related to my field, right? It was a
Wow.
struggle.
Mm.
It was so much of a struggle trying to find um, something that would suit me. And I was thinking to
Mm.
myself, well, wow, I never really thought about this being so difficult. And so after that happened, I mean, you know, the system kind of shakes you a bit, and then you start to have like a ding moment in your head where you start to think of, okay, well, what can I do immediately that is going to serve income? Because at times we want to make impact, right? But we forget that you can't make impact if you're hungry.
That's
right.
True.
You see, you can't say that you want to make all the impact in the world and you yourself you're struggling. How are you going to impact this other person on the other side, right? And so before the whole impact started, I was driven by, well, what can I do now to kind of help myself and the situation that I find myself in? So it just started out as I knew how to blog already, and I was like, okay, well, since I know how to blog, why don't I take this on a professional level? And when I did that, it didn't take too long for me to get noticed. And that was when everything kind of started out for me, because right after the blogging thing, that was when I realized, well, I'm actually good at marketing. So why don't I? Yeah.
Were you lifestyle or business? What kind of blog was it?
Oh, well, I was doing a lot of business, and at some point I was doing lifestyle. I mean, I've done a lot, especially in the blogging side. I've worked with a couple of people, set up their own blogs and stuff like that, and actually trained a lot of people on how to start a blog, right? And that was one of the things that also got me out there. During the lockdown period, I mean, people were just eager for information. And so I just availed myself to teach people this for free. And I mean, it turned out great.
Awesome. That's really interesting. Like from biology to blogging, you know, and stuff. So, and just, I'm very curious. Sometimes, and I like the way the conversation is going, because now I'm getting to see more about Diane, right?
Yes.
That's how you
it, right? Yes, Diane. Yeah.
So through the process of, you studied biology, what was it something you wanted to do, or it just happened by chance that you got to study biology? What was your dream in the beginning?
Okay, so my dream as an individual, I was part of the people that their parents are like, oh, you have to be a doctor, right? So I really wanted to be a doctor. That was like my ultimate dream, right? And when I actually got IT in school, so University of Ghana picked me for IT, and KNUST picked me for computer science.
Interesting.
Right? And I went to the dean and I told him, see, when I do IT, I can't do anything biology related again. You know, that's a different thing altogether. But when I do biology, I can come back and do IT if I want to. And he was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. So that was how I got my course changed in University of Ghana. I had to do a lot of convincing to the dean of students that, hey, please, I beg you, this is not going to work for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself doing biology, right?
Yeah.
So then first IT to biology, from biology to blogging. Like through this process, right? I'm asking because it's a very relatable situation, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who get to watch this even after it's ended, who would be experiencing that in their personal life, and they will have to make some decisions. What did the whole transition teach you about yourself?
Wow. Honestly, a lot. A whole lot. Because people that knew me back in school knew I was all about, you know, even though I was doing biology, I've always been a person of, what's the right word to use? Say, business-minded person, right? And so I see business opportunities in everything. Okay. It was later in life that I realized that, okay, so my entrepreneur DNA actually is a specialist and an opportunist. And so that is why I see things in that perspective. My friends will tell you that Diane is always someone that she's going to push you. She's going to, I'm always trying to find the thin line between, well, how can we make money from this? And that is how it all started for me. And for me personally, I learned a lot about myself because first of all, I was putting myself in a box, thinking that what I'm learning in school is who I am. That was one of the major problems.
Yes.
Right? It was like, I thought that, well, because I studied biology, I'm a biologist. And I can't be anything else apart from a biologist. And it took me a lot of, renewal of my mindset to push myself into other fields. And when you don't try something, you would never know you're good at it or not. And I always tell my friends this: try out everything. Make sure you've exhausted all the options and know which one that works for you, which one you can fit into, which one you're comfortable with. Because if you never try, you would never know. And this was me trying to become a blogger and become a marketer, become an SEO expert, content marketing and stuff. I was just like all over the place. And a lot of my friends kept asking me, like, what are you going to do with all these things? Because we know you as a biologist, right? And so when I started out, people did not take me serious at all. Nobody was taking me serious because, well, they know this is your identity. Your identity is a biology, right? It's the biology that you studied in school, the biologist. You are the biologist. So why are you now, changing who you are? And a lot of people had problems with that.
Yeah.
And
but why? Why do you think so, though? Why should
I think
a problem to people? Again, I like the pattern of the conversation. Now it's switched from, like I said, we were going to have the marketing conversation. We're definitely going to have a conversation about that. But now it's becoming more personal, real conversation that we need to. Just a quick greetings going out to Futurist Kwame. Hi,
Kwame.
So I'm going to reach out to you. But like, Diane, why do you think people have, why should it be their problem? Is it society? What, because it's like a box.
Exactly. It's the kind of setting that we find ourselves in, right? The societal setting that we find ourselves in. So we get a lot of people trying to say, well, you should be this. This is how you should behave. This is how you should go about things, right? And if you are not someone that can stand your ground, this affects your mental health a lot. Because you now start to think, well, this thing that I'm even thinking of doing is not going to work out. It's not going to work out because everyone seems to not be in support of what I'm doing. So how is this going to even play out? And it will come from your close friends, your family. It will just come from, that system around you, and it would affect your thinking. Right?
Yes.
And so it took me a lot to kind of like tell my parents, right, that, you know what, let me figure this out. Don't give me any kind of pressure on find a job. And I don't want to be in a space where I'm undervalued, right? And I wanted to put all my knowledge on the table. I wanted to put everything that is me on the table. And I just, it was a struggle in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. It was a struggle. It was a lot of, late nights where you were just thinking, well, what am I doing?
Yeah.
How am I going about things? Is this even going to, like, where's my life going from here?
Yeah.
Right? Because you've been thinking, well, I'm going to be a medical doctor all your life, and now you've changed course and you have to find a new pattern, a new direction. And so it's a lot to consume in. And if you don't have that system around you, that support system, it's just going to look like you're all over the place. And
Yeah.
it takes a lot to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
People say,
I mean, this sorry to cut you, but this is very practical. I want us to take it in according to the levels you're giving us, so that we don't miss a thing. Because I love these conversations. You learn a lot of things from it. So majorly, I mean, in the beginning phases, and this is very relatable to most entrepreneurs, like who are starting businesses and starting careers and all of those stuff. Yeah, because the reason people will be talking about the thing in that way, or making it look like, okay, why you do this and you are now doing that and stuff and all of that, is because what you maybe possibly at that point, it was not making sense to them, right? So how did you let it make sense? How did you get everybody? I mean, I came to find you because of what you do, because of, and I would never have known if you had not shared this story. But how did you let it make sense?
It's just, sometimes I feel like, well, network, right? Network, honestly. In the beginning, it was just a lot of, well, I'm doing this to see how far it takes me, right? I don't care what anyone is saying.
Yep.
I'm doing this for me, right? And so it's just that when they saw the consistency, right? They saw the results that this was producing. Then they knew that, well, wow, this is serious. I remember Kwame was on a panel for a competition that I was in, right? And it was about blogging, right? And I went to do a pitch and everything. Another time I didn't know Kwame, right? That was me meeting him for the first time. And it was a competition, and we had that conversation after, right? It was more like I went to do the pitch with other people, and I won the competition. So that's how I know Kwame. Awesome. And it was just that moment, right, where like people saw that Dian has, devoured everything. That was when they started to believe in what I was doing. Before that, it just looked like I was playing. No matter how serious you are, when people do not see the results, when they don't see the results, it's just like
you're playing.
Yeah, it looks like you're just in the field. And I had a lot of people, at that time I wasn't working, right? And I had a lot of people call me, oh, that unemployed blogger, right? Wow. And so, yeah, it was.
Which people were saying this? Was it like followers on social media, or it was?
No, it's just like people that know you, right? And they know where you are coming from, where you are now, and what you're trying to do. And they go and say things like, oh, that unemployed blogger. I mean, I had such a tough time. I actually thought, like, well, let me just give.
Yeah.
But they will post all the trending stuff that is happening. And you're just sitting down thinking to yourself, wow, is this it?
Wow. Yes. And sometimes, Diane, sorry, people don't realize how hard it is to build something from scratch. And they will never get it until they find themselves in that position.
I said this, one time to a friend. I said that you only value support when you start something of your own.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You only value support when you start something of your own, because when you haven't started anything and you've not seen how things are, you just think, oh, well, sharing this for this person is not anything. If I don't share it, it doesn't make any impact or anything to the person, right? But when you start your own and you require people to help you, hold your hand to places, that is when you would understand that when someone even shares a post for you,
Yeah.
you have to be thankful.
You've done you a lot of good.
Right.
You know, and I like us to dwell here a bit because, like, I mean, Star Africa, for example, we are working with African entrepreneurs a lot, right? Majorly from Rwanda at this point, but also we feature entrepreneurs from Ghana on this platform. And people don't get to realize, and I think I'm looking forward to entrepreneurs having a conversation about how people should even relate with entrepreneurs.
Right.
Like how our relationships what it should entail. Because, like I will say it time and time again, some people will never get it until they get to find themselves one day in the position of needing a push, support, or something. Then you get to realize what it means, to build something from scratch. So, I mean, clearly you've been able to get over this. You've made this make sense for you. So right now, as we speak, like in your profile, I also read that you are a digital marketer. Like you said,
Right.
you always talk this part of marketing and stuff. What does it mean to you? What does marketing mean to you?
Marketing to me is just showing up, right? And showing up a lot. I see a lot of people in, say, startups, right?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes some of them are in the dark, right? Winking at people. And no one can see that they are winking. Right? This is what I see a lot of people doing. It's simple, but very difficult. People think marketing is, oh, well, let me just share the post on social media and wait. That's what they do. Let me share it and wait. What are you waiting for? Right? Like, it's a whole strategy.
Yeah.
On its own.
Yes.
Right? It's a funnel. And Derek, if I come to you and you probably have never heard of me, and I come to your doorstep selling an iPhone 13, and I'm like, oh, Derek, this iPhone is 1,000 cedis. Would you buy it? You would hesitate because
very much. Where did you come from?
Right. You've not heard of me. You don't know me from anywhere.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm selling you something. This is what a lot of entrepreneurs do, right? Yes. Nobody has heard of you. Nobody knows what you're doing. You just come and you're trying to sell us stuff. And it's like you're pushing it in our face. Well, why? Create some brand awareness. Let people know who you are.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you can sell them something. It's easier for someone to purchase something from you if they know, like, you have some credibility. It's easier.
Yes.
But a lot of people come with a lot of products and different services, and they're pushing it in our faces. Well, buy this, buy this, buy this. Like, it's just, sometimes that's one of the things that I see, and I feel like, well, this is a struggle because there's a whole strategy, there's a whole funnel, and these things are actually available information, like information online, right?
Yeah.
And so when I see people, I can't even take it in.
For showing up a lot.
Yes.
And sometimes I want us also let's draw the line between marketing and sales, and also you can add what people think marketing is that is not.
Okay.
What?
So marketing is more like, as I said, showing up and showing up a lot. Marketing is the thing that is going to push in the sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like a negotiation.
Mm.
You're negotiating to move the person down the funnel to the sales funnel, right?
Okay.
And a lot of people think, well, posting, just posting is marketing.
It's marketing,
Just
yeah.
coming on Instagram Live
Mm-hmm.
is marketing, but it's marketing if it contains the right content.
Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of people get it twisted. They know the channels of marketing, but they don't have the right content to put out.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the day, we see marketing and sales there's a very thin line between marketing and sales.
Yes.
Because it's like you trying to convince someone to buy something. So you're deciding to show them a lot of different things to entice them to finally buy the thing. So
yes.
there's a very thin line between marketing and sales. And a lot of people have seen that, oh, well, they know the channels of marketing, right? They've learned a lot about the channels of marketing, but at the end of the day, they don't know what to say, what to put out. And all these things are part of marketing.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's right. And then you made mention of, I like the funnel you made mention of, and also the thin line. Okay.
Right.
Most people do not, I mean, when it comes to marketing, I can tell you for a fact, most of the entrepreneurs out there, most of them don't even understand what funnel they are working with, how they are funnel. They don't even know there is something we call the funnel. You understand? So for those who
Right.
who are hearing about this the first time, what is this whole funnel thing you are talking about?
Okay. So the funnel is just like creating, first of all, let me start with the buyer's persona, right? You need to know who you're selling to, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Before you do any kind of marketing, you need to know exactly who you're selling to. It's not like
Yes.
I'm just going to throw in all types of corn and see which one works out. That is not good, because especially when you come into the digital marketing space, what happens is that when you do this, Facebook or Instagram is going to show your ads to all kinds of people that are just likely to just click a like for you, right? And what it does is that you don't, at the end of the day, you don't get the number of people that you want. So you want to generate leads, right? And you're seeing you're sending your post to almost everyone. So 60-something-year-old, 20-something-year-old, everyone from every industry is seeing your ads. If your business is not that type that appeals to all these types of people, you are wasting money. You're practically putting a lot of money down for Instagram to take for free.
Yeah.
Right. And so you need to be very specific on who your target audience is. Create your buyer's persona. Who are they? Where are they found? What do they do in their free time? Right? What kind of pages do they like? What do they listen to?
Yeah.
People think that these things are irrelevant. But when you come into the digital marketing space, you realize how relevant it is to have specific details of individuals, right? The target that
Yes.
you're trying to appeal to, it's very important that you have those specifics. So moving them into a funnel would be easier if you know who they are and what they like. So for me, maybe I like music, right? And so it would be nice if I see maybe a music app that is an African music app or something, right? It would just be nice. I would just be like, well, wow, this is interesting. I would like to see what this is, right? Because this
Yes.
appeals to me. I like a lot of startup stuff, right? I like to see a lot of business related content. And so this would appeal to me. So selling to me, when you bring me the right things, it's easier for me to just go ahead, and if it's make a purchase, I will probably think about it first, right? Because that is where you create the brand awareness.
Yeah.
You first show up, right, and tell the person who you are, what you do. Let them feel comfortable with you before you try and sell them something.
Yeah. Like how you talk to a normal, I mean, realistically, how you meet a stranger and they become your friend.
Exactly. So
Yes.
it's more of negotiation, right? I say a lot of negotiation because trying to sell someone something is like it's a constant battle going on in the person's head. It's like you need to convince me, right, to buy whatever it is that you will have to offer. And if I don't present whatever it is properly, you're likely to say, well, I don't think this is working out for me, just because I probably did not say what you wanted to hear. And that's why it's important to have the right content when you are trying to market to someone.
That's right. Very important. Very, very important. I'm taking a lot of notes while you're talking. A lot of them. And this is very important because, I mean, sometimes, like you rightly said, most of the entrepreneurs also have like a certain expectation that once they post, people should respond, right? Or once they think, even if they've got the message right, people should respond. But like you've clearly stated, it's a relationship, it's a process.
Yeah,
You
it's a
understand? So
process.
even when in marketing, when it comes to like creating the customer journeys, for example, when they see your ad for the first time, whether they say yes or no, when they say yes,
Right.
when they say no, what do you do to bring them to come and say yes? That's the goal. So people have to take their time to create these like journey maps and funnels, and
Exactly.
you make your marketing more strategic and clear. Very good.
And
Thank you.
you're welcome. I think one of the things that a lot of people miss out on is retargeting.
Yes.
Retargeting. So someone visited your page and probably did not perform that action that you wanted them to do, right? And at the end of the day, what that person goes free, right? They go free. Why can't you reach out to them?
Yeah.
Why? There's so many ways to reach out to them, right? But people don't even know about this. Like, say, for instance, someone comes to your Instagram page and they didn't follow you. There's a way to reach out to them.
Yes.
And people don't even know that these things can be done.
Yep.
And it's because a lot of entrepreneurs are, wearing the hats of, all the all the departments,
It's
right? You start to struggle. See, we've all been there, right? Where you feel like, well, I can't afford to bring someone in to do this specific thing for me, but I'm going to try and do it myself.
Yeah.
But in the process of trying, the best thing to do is always learn. The best thing to do is always learn, because you can't say that you're trying to run a business and you're not learning. It's not possible.
That's true.
it's so not possible because my experience will be different from your experience. The type of business I run might be different from the type of business you run. Even if it's in the same industry, the geographical location and things like that even impacts the business. So I see a lot of people trying to say, well, I'm going to wear all the hats, but I don't want to learn anything. I don't want to try anything new. I'll go with exactly what I've been doing. And some people have been, I know a few people that they've been stuck at one point for a very long time and they are still standing there. And I'm like, well, why don't you partner with someone and try and get this moving? And this is like a whole different conversation of trust.
Most people have exactly trust. Trust. That has been majorly the problem. Like the trust with most people, and like in our part of the world, collaborations. I mean, people have still not come to understand the basics, the foundation, and the essence of having meaningful collaboration towards impact. And it's interesting that you've also mentioned that. But I think the trust thing is something we definitely have to work on as people, as entrepreneurs too. Please go ahead.
I know. So as an entrepreneur as well, you have to be a leader. And a lot of people don't want to assume that leadership position, right? In marketing, you might think, oh, well, let's just, switch things up here, make this work a little bit. Let's move things away. But if you're not a leader, see, it takes a lot. You have to lead self and you have to lead team. And you might think, well, I'm going to make this work. But I don't want to be in that position where I'm going to make anyone feel intimidated, or I don't want to voice out what needs to be done because the person on the other side is going to feel a certain type of way. Well, you have to wake up because things will not get done. And marketing is just like, as I said, showing up and showing up a lot, right? You have to come prepared. It's not like, oh, let's wing it and see, what is going to happen.
Yeah. I'm hard.
It's like, Derek, I see how you're marketing your book, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is someone that's serious about their marketing.
Oh, thank you.
They've thought it through, and they know the channels to use to market.
Yeah.
And they know where their audiences are. So they know where they're going to put that specific thing at a specific time. But most people, because they don't know who they're even selling to in the first place, it's always a struggle. It's always, and this is someone that I work with a lot of business owners, right? And you try and get a glimpse of what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go, so you know how you can help them as a marketer. And it's a challenge. Like, you could sit down the whole day with them and still not get any type of information that you need to drive whatever you're doing forward. And I feel like some of these things are basic, right? Before you start a business, right? If you're about to sell shoes, you know who you want to sell the shoes to, right? So why am I trying to get some type of information and then all of a sudden you don't know who your target audiences are? You just want everyone. And I'm like, well,
Mm.
that's not going to work out well,
That's right.
because we need to know exactly who we need to talk to, where to go, where to find these people, where do they hang out, who are the brands that we can partner with to help move this thing forward.
Yep. 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 That's very true. And when it comes to even the partnerships you just talked about, and like getting to know the right people to, to merge forces with and stuff. I mean, I remember I shared that thing in my book, and I think it's becoming a very important conversation for the startup community in Africa to have about.
Right.
This morning I was talking with one of my team members from here from Germany, and we were talking about this. That's like sometimes some collaborations don't go well because you realize in the beginning your values are not even aligned.
Right.
Yeah. And as something as simple as that affects the entire collaboration, affects the entire partnership. You understand?
And
If I believe in
some people
something else too. Yeah, please go ahead.
some people just want to have partners, big
Yep.
brands,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But they don't know that maybe that small brand is what is actually going to drive you forward in what you are doing.
Exactly.
And so the focus is, oh well, let's get a lot of big brands to partner with us. And at the end of the day, you just have the name, you just have that tick.
Yep.
But there's nothing else that it has done. It hasn't added any value to your company. It hasn't added any extra thing to your whatever it is that you were doing before.
Yep.
And as you said, this is like a really solid conversation that we all need to have, right? Who do we partner with and why?
Mm-hmm.
There should always be a why. Why are you partnering with this person? There should always be a why. Why do you need the partnership in the first place? And that is a relevant conversation that we need to have. Because I mean, I've come across a lot of people that, they just want to partner because of just partnerships.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how is that adding value to whatever it is you're doing? Right? And at some point, this is a personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
We went in for a partnership for it was our nonprofit. Okay. So when we went in for the partnership, we had a lot of high hopes. It was a Twitter conversation around mental health. And oh my God, I didn't know that, this whole NGO space was so vicious. I did not know. They did put us, we put them on the flyers, everything we posted. And when it was time for them to fulfill their part, they did not show up. They did not show up. And funny enough, that was one of the conversations that had the highest visibility that we've done ever. And they did not show up. So they had the community that we needed. And they just decided not to take part in it after all the agreements, and I said, well, I understand when people say, right, that they can't trust people to do things with and stuff like that, because it's vicious, right? Especially when money is involved. It's a vicious system. So you just have to kind of figure out who your people are, right? And establish that relationship with brands that you think you can partner with, right? Sometimes it could even be your friends, right? Your friends' businesses. It could be relatives. It could be anybody or practical strangers, right?
Oh,
It could be anybody, but at the end of the day, it should serve a purpose.
yep,
Every
that's right.
partnership should serve a purpose. It just shouldn't be that, oh, we're just partnering for the sake of partnering. It should serve the purpose that your brand needs, right?
Mm,
Not a want, but a need,
indeed,
if
yep.
that's making,
That's
yeah,
very important. And I really appreciate that you've touched on this like in practically because it's very important. We need to have more collaborations to succeed in our African,
right,
but it should be meaningful. We should be very sure
right,
that we are aligned. And for me personally, that's a very big lesson for me in business. I've had that big lesson. If we are not aligned, if we
wow,
don't want the same the way we want them, whatever we do, it will always there will always be confusion. Even if on the
right,
outside it looks nice, on the inside you know that you are not fulfilled with the partnership.
right,
You understand?
absolutely.
And then this has been great. I mean, I thought I thought you were going to just give us one thing, but you ended up giving us a whole buffet, and I'm sure we're going to consume for the rest of the year, right? And I mean, it's nice conversation with you. And I mean, any final words to all entrepreneurs who get to watch, anybody watching you, what do you have to say for the final words?
Okay, final words. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to do anything.
Mm,
Don't be scared to switch lanes however you want to. If today you're feeling like you want to be a digital marketer, tomorrow you want to be
mm,
a business owner, you can switch cups whenever you want,
mhm,
right?
mm.
But just make sure that whatever it is that you are doing, you focus, make sure you are an expert in that before you move to something else.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. And I mean, some people got me with the jack of all trades, master of none, right?
Mm,
Well,
mhm,
one of my lecturers told me, well, Diane, you seem like you're doing everything. Well, a jack of all trades is a master of none. Well, the actual saying we know is a jack of all trades, master of none, but better than one, right? So just make sure that whatever it is you're doing, you master, move to the next one, master, move to the next one, master. And that is what has kept me going. Everyone
mm,
knows, Diane, I can spread myself across. I call myself a T-shaped marketer because I know, I mean, any type of conversation that you want to have, I practically have knowledge on that side. If we want to talk a little business, I can talk business. If we want
mm,
to talk leadership, I can talk leadership. It's
mm.
all that you need to make sure that whatever it is you're doing, that you do it
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
So people can see and appreciate exactly what you're doing.
yeah, yeah. That's very profound. And thank you very much for giving us that very important truth or a
Right,
reminder. Because
right.
and I see your story as you've had to fight a lot of mouths to get to
Trust
where
me.
painful. No, really, it's painful. And I know a lot of people relate. I relate with it too. It's like sometimes you expect that some people, if you don't like what I'm doing, just imagine I'm not here. Imagine you've not seen me. Just go. Right. But then like to say some things to someone on the face, especially people in the faces of identifying what it's made up of here for them. It's their journey. There's no formula, right? It's your just be kind by keeping quiet than to say these things,
Oh,
and it's a big lesson for all of us. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to do that to other people because I know how it feels like.
right,
Yeah.
right, right,
So yeah.
right.
So Dan, thank you very much. Really, thank
You're
you.
most welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. On behalf of Star Africa, guys, thank you so much for staying on. I see Fenji says, loving the session. Thank you very much. You can check out Star Africa's page. What we're doing is that we are helping bridge the gap in business between Germany and Africa. Currently, we are starting with Rwanda. So you can check out our page for all our projects. We have events that come up and things that we are doing to help entrepreneurs in Africa as well. This is Star Africa. It's a project funded by the Ministry of Economic Affairs of Germany and implemented by the University of Koblenz, Landau, in partnership with the University of Rwanda. From myself and Diane, we say have a lovely weekend. And guys, see you in 2
Bye,
weeks.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.